Hey everybody, welcome to another entry in the Hyrule Compendium, series where we are just covering various topics in Zelda. Let us know what you'd like us to talk about. We actually today are looking at a topic that our good friend Spencer put to us, and he said, "What are your opinions on stealth in Zelda games?" So before we've been talking about Breath of the Wild mostly, and we did talk a little bit about that, the Yiga stealth portion in Zelda, but I guess more broadly.
Okay. I'm trying to think when the first incident of stealth happened.
Yeah.
I know. I'm trying to think if any. I don't know if anything in Link's Awakening was stealth, but Ocarina of Time was the soldiers in Hyrule Castle
That was what came to my mind, yeah.
that carried over to Majora's Mask with the pirates,
And the Deku Palace.
right? Yeah, it got a bit more elaborate as time went on. Like what comes to mind more recently would be like Skyward Sword with the whole Bokoblin base where they like steal all your weapons. It's like an entire area that is focused specifically towards stealth.
Yeah, so I guess, first of all, what do you think of that? Because there are some games where stealth can be incorporated into the whole game.
Yeah,
And even Breath of the Wild has some of that, where you
Yeah.
can move silently.
right. Yeah,
But nothing like then it takes a turn in the Yiga section where it's pure, like if you get caught,
right.
you're done.
Yeah. I like the change of pace gameplay. So like I like the Yiga area. That was kind of small and short. It was like one big room. But I like Skyward Sword comes to mind as I think one that's it's done very well. That whole because it's an entire region. It's a good portion of it. It's just change of pace. It's not just puzzle solving and hack and slash. You're avoiding combat, and in generally speaking, that's not traditionally has not been a method of completing a Zelda game.
Yeah, yeah.
It's always sort of been like a hack and slash type game where you see an enemy, you go and kill it. So the stealth mode, I think it's good. With Breath of the Wild, it sort of came. It was like an essential feature of the entire game, though. Right?
Yeah. What though? Would you think it may be interesting if they had a couple more, maybe smaller missions where you can't get caught? Like maybe some side quests or something like that.
There were there were a few like that. One comes to mind. I'm not sure if you did. It was one of the shrine quests in the Lost Woods, where you had to follow a Korok,
Right.
and you had to sort of.
Now, a lot of people didn't like that, from what I understand.
It was too long. It was like you had to inch behind them slowly and slowly
Very
and slowly.
monotonous.
I think it's only like a 4-minute mission or something, maybe a 5, something like that. But if you get caught at that 3 minutes and 55-second mark of a 4-minute mission, you got to do the whole thing over.
Yeah,
and you
yeah.
kind of lose patience a little bit. It gets frustrating.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, but I used you just the whole idea of sneaking up behind enemies. The whole like your noise meter was basically like a stealth meter.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I like the
pretty cool.
animations. I always felt kind of bad for the enemies. Like I'm like here sneaking up while they're sleeping, and I'm about to like butcher them. Like poor Bokoblin.
And you did some missions where they didn't necessarily want you to do stealth, but you did. Like when you stole the balls from the Hynix.
From the Hynixes, yeah.
I'd say that was some stealth you did there.
Yeah, my first playthrough, I didn't beat a single Hynix. Even when I did all the shrines, I didn't beat a single Hynix.
Yeah.
Yeah, just steal their orbs that are just chilling on their chest.
Amazing. So you thought, what do you think is the best instance of stealth in the series? Skyward Sword?
Well, we also have to mention Phantom Hourglass.
Okay.
I think because the whole concept of the Temple of the Ocean King is stealth, because you're fighting. They put you in a scenario where you're up against enemies that you are unable to defeat.
Mm-hmm.
So the whole point is, avoidance. You gotta, stay out of their line of sight. You gotta sort of like trick them. You like make noise so they run in a certain direction.
Mm-hmm.
I thought it was great.
Very stressful.
I know I'm in the minority on this one, but I really like the stealth ability of in particular of the Temple of the Ocean King.
Okay, yeah.
That kind of carried over a little bit with Spirit Tracks as well. It wasn't to the full extent because you were finally. It's like each of the Tower of Spirits levels. I'm not sure how familiar it's in your mind right now. But like it started as stealth. You had to avoid the phantoms, but then you were able to take control of a phantom.
Mm-hmm, you get so it becomes
like,
less stressful, right? I mean, you're less scared.
Yeah. Whereas Phantom Hourglass the whole time up until the very end of the game, you could never kill a phantom.
To me, I always thought the Phantom Hourglass take on that was a bit more interesting because you're just always in, like, you're always really freaked out, I would say.
Yeah, it was sort of like we made note of this when we were talking about the Guardians a month ago or whatever it was, where the music kicks in and you get scared. Phantom Hourglass had that same idea when a phantom spots you, and it's like all the flashing lights come, and it's like usually the slow moving enemy starts charging at you, and you have to run away to a safe zone.
They incorporated elements of that in Skyward Sword too, with the Silent Realm.
Right. Yeah.
Where
the whole Silent Realm was
terrifying.
Those guys with the giant swords there.
Oh man.
Yeah, that was pretty vicious.
Yeah.
And the heart pounding music that plays when you're.
Yeah. So that's cool. They've kept that same feeling still.
Yeah. I think it's good. Like when I think of the Silent Realms, it's one of those things. It's a great idea when done in portions.
Mm-hmm.
Like you can overdo it. I think that was the problem I think people had with Phantom Hourglass, because you kept revisiting this, the same area over and over, and with the Silent Realms you had to do four of them.
Yeah.
By the time you got to the fourth one, it was like, are you serious? They're actually going to do this again?
Right. Yeah. That's some Zelda stuff that they try to pull.
Yeah.
I guess one last thing is what like in future Zelda games, like what would you want to see as far as the stealth goes? Kind of more continuation of what you like, or? Yeah,
I think the Skyward Sword one sort of comes to mind, and this is not entirely stealth, but in Breath of the Wild there was the one island mission, the side shrine quest,
Eventide.
Yeah,
Island,
where they sort of strip you of all your weapons, and that was sort of what happened with the Bokoblin base in Skyward Sword, and I liked how you had to re-find all your weapons because it sort of brings you back to the beginning of the game, but that was still stealth based too, and the big picture though, I like it in small doses, and I like when it's like a big part of the game in small doses, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
So I like when there's a whole section of the game dedicated to it.
And of course, you like in Breath of the Wild, you have the option.
Yeah.
So that's cool. Like that I feel like they took another step forward, and I think it would be cool if they went a little bit further. Not make it a game about stealth, but still give you some more stealth tools,
Right. I didn't play this way, but I've seen people play with, I think it's the Sheikah costume. You wear it and it helps your stealth. And when it's fully upgraded, like I saw a guy I think it was like he was fighting a Lionel, and he was just hitting him and just walking behind him, and the Lionel never saw him. It got ridiculous how stealthy he actually was.
Yeah. That's awesome though.
Yeah. But it does offer, like, it's a totally new way to play. You can do run and gun.
You can infiltrate dungeons or whatever,
Yeah.
So
that's cool.
So yeah, let us know what you thought of the stealth. Do you want to see more of it, less of it? Let us know what else you want us to talk about, and thanks for watching.